Without further ado, I would like to welcome everybody to tonight's open meeting. This is a mission-centered meeting, and I wanted to share with all of you and welcome all of you to our team format. So what we are doing here is we have teams that we have developed with missions to accomplish small goals locally and nationally and internationally. And when we all take little goals, micro goals and stuff and work on those, we are able to accomplish some spectacular things. And so, you know, a lot of that has to do with being able to provide a structure and format to assist people in being able to take a step-by-step look at their mission and how to accomplish it. And, you know, when you have accomplished a mission, you get recognition and meritorious standing in our program. And Becca was here last Sunday when we were starting to share about that. Hi, Becca, and welcome. And we also have Julia here tonight to begin with this discussion. Before I continue on, though, I would like to get to know you a little bit, Julia. How are you? Hello. Maybe unmute. See if I can unmute your, unfortunately, it looks like it is not in my capability to unmute you. Perhaps on your end, you can, there should be a little speaker, like a microphone that's red with a slash through it. And when you click on that, it should give you the option to turn your speaker on. It looks like you have a good signal where you're at, Julia. I'm not sure how to help you.
It says that her audio is connecting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Becca. How are you doing, Becca?
I'm doing good. We had a really great meeting in our group yesterday, and we had a couple on Zoom, and we had one lady came all the way probably, well, 3 hours to come to it. So we're getting somewhere. We're starting to move our booties.
Oh, that's awesome. So you've got a team then that you're meeting with. Is it localized?
Yeah, it's well, it's Minnesota, and we've I think we started it in 2018.
You have 20 people in your team.
No,
Awesome.
no, we started it in 2018.
Oh, in 2018.
Yes. So, wow, we've got like 46 right now.
Ah.
Just because the main person that wanted to start it kind of dropped out, and the other guy, anyway, I had to keep it going, and now we're back and we're full force. So we've been in front of the DHS committee. We've done a bunch of rallies, and then we're going to start court watching. So we have a court watch Tuesday. Hi, Christine.
So this brings
Hi.
it to kinship watchdog material there that we want to help promote and support in all of the states. For those of you who have your children in DHS custody and are fighting, there are ways that your extended family can join in and actually make sure that your children are properly taken care of in your family environment. And that's where the Kinship Watchdog program is being created to assist in that. We have a lot of teams. Your team in Minnesota is specifically focused on the family court corruption system. And I applaud you for all of the work that you are doing, Becca, and keeping that group together there. And, you know, whatever we can do to help expand, you know, your reach there in Minnesota, whether it is to help facilitate some more team discussions or
I'm trying to get them on board with your group also so that we're running alongside each other.
well, that is wonderful,
Yep,
Becca.
that's
Thank
what I'm looking at right now.
So, and without further ado, hi, Christine. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Sorry, I'm at work, so everything behind me is part of my job.
Well, it's good to see that you're able to go to work in these strange times that we're experiencing. You know, there's a lot of people that can't, so I'm glad you
Yeah,
get to use your job too.
yeah.
So, without further ado, hey, Julia, it looks like I can unmute you if you wanted to say a few words before we get right into the discussion here of the first mission for everyone to participate in.
Hi, Julia.
Hi.
Hello
Here's
there.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can now.
I guess.
Where are you from? Where are you in? Okay.
You can't hear you?
How to. Ah. I can't get how to do that. I don't know how to tell them.
Oh.
We can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Julia, you don't have to type it. You can talk and we can hear you.
What?
We can hear
You
you.
don't- I'm not
Yeah,
sure
you
how
don't-
to
Come in,
connect on here.
You're connected.
Anyway, bye. Okay. So where is everybody from?
Well, so I'm in California. Where are you from?
I'm in California. I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, we're just like crows fly away from you then.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And
Whereabouts in California are you?
so we're in Silicon Valley. They're here in the Fremont area.
Oh, okay. I know where that is.
We have one of our
So my
directors joining us now. This is Forrest. He's director of computer technology and web development. Welcome, Forrest. I'm glad you could make it tonight.
Oh my gosh, Forrest, I have to say that you are absolutely amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't hear anything anybody's saying. It keeps breaking up.
Uh-oh. So Becca was saying she's like very happy with
Hold on, I gotta call back in.
Okay. We'll talk to you in a minute then. Thanks, Forrest. So yes, Forrest is in charge of the tech department here with Great Works Alliance, and he's also been assisting with the website for the Coalition for Protection. And both of those sites have gone through a lot of revamping and redevelopment. One of the biggest things that we have done in collaboration with Great Works Alliance and what these meetings are now about is missions and how everybody can get on board and find a team that they can correlate with and work with. And now we have Forrest on two devices. So, so all right, now we're all sorted out. The best way that we have found to assist in everybody's goals and mission is to provide a structure with tiny or short-term goals that lead towards the uh, main goal within whatever project that you are involved with, whether it is in legal services or mental health or community services or your own self-improvement and well-being, and it just expands on out from there. And one of the ways that we're looking at this is that we're looking at what you each bring, what you each are most proficient and skilled at, a master or adept. And so we have created this form that is for everyone to, start with a bit of self-discovery. If your skills, your merit, and your initiative, what are your passions? What are your concerns? How do you want to, prioritize your life and what you can bring to help with others in your community? So it goes through quite a bit of questions. We have from the get-go, we're not asking for personal information so much. This is going to assist everyone in I'm waiting for I'm sorry, I'm waiting for this folder to open up. So we have
I lost the screen.
Yeah, it should come right back.
Okay.
That is, it's so wonderful that we have Zoom and where you can share your work and information with others here in this community chat form. And so are you all able to see the Excel document here that I am sharing on the screen?
I can see it.
I'm not.
I have it.
Okay.
Probably an hour, but well, I was watching something when you started to do that.
So what this is
off so
just
you
a
could do that?
layout of the different teams, and we have used the Order of the Phoenix as our format, one of our examples of how you can lay out your teams. Now, this doesn't have to be your team names. We are here to provide a format for you to follow and use in your team groups. Like Becca, you have a lot of people involved in your state, and I'm sure that some of them are more focused on protests and others are more able to work on the back end and helping with one-on-one peer support with other parents. And so there is a breakdown that we're providing here, showing the ability for those micro groups to get together more often than a big group gets together and focus on their specific niche. And so, like I was saying before, the profile skills and merit form that we're providing here is for everybody. It's not just for the Coalition for Protection of Children and Families or for Great Works Alliance. What we do is we offer a place for you to be able to assess your own skills, your own abilities. And so I'm going to share that screen again here. what we are looking for is like, how much of your week do you feel comfortable with putting towards accomplishing something in your life, in what your goals are, whether it is for personal growth, like I was saying before, or if it's to help somebody else, whether it is to go and have paperwork uh, filed in the family court, or to go and plant in the community garden. So it's extremely expansive because, you know, every little thing we do helps in the community, helps us be positive, have positive growth and development, improve our own quality of life. And when we improve our own quality of life, we then are able to see how to help improve others that we care about and their quality of life. And so we have this skills and merit form in 12 different sections. So that's the most personal, is the first section, trying to find your email address and get information now about your name. Now, I also wanted to make sure everyone understands that even though we're asking for you to give us your name, you can use an anonymous or an alias. We're not sticklers on that. We just want to be able to connect with you and offer more information, insight, and support in your path, whatever that path may be. And so then, you know, we have a second section, which is about planning and management skills. Now, these sections from here on down, it gives you an opportunity to rank your ability on a scale of, you know, between not applicable, don't know, proficient, adept, and master. And we all have a mastery in some skills, and we all are adept at some skills, and we all are proficient at others. And some of us, you know, some things we don't know, we haven't checked into, or we don't have any interest in. And so that's what we're asking you to consider when you're looking through these questions. This third section is about clerical skills. You know, everybody needs some assistance with taxes, filing taxes, making their business incorporation, and other ways to contribute. So we're looking to, you know, see who wants to participate in that area within the organization of Great Works Alliance, as well as other organizations within your own cities, towns, and states. And then the fourth section is we're wondering if you have any clerical, financial skills, CPA, and financial management skills. That's a great thing for people to have. I don't do as much as I could. You know, I'm not as proficient as I'd like to be. So I don't know if I would answer these very well on this.
Thank
But
you.
then our next section is about news and media coordination skills. And there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of contacts in news and media. You know, let's try to get these people together so that we can start with a list that everybody can access. Let's talk about coordinating advertising and media and distribution of new and valid materials, empirical papers, and other information that is verifiable. We don't want the fake news to be and inundating us with all these fears and concerns, when we really want to know what the real information is, what the real news is. And so, you know, that takes people being able to investigate. And I just admitted another participant here. Hello, Mary, welcome. We're right now just going through the first mission, which is for self-evaluation, as well as to help us all be able to organize ourselves to get better and to create stronger teams to be able to accomplish the goals that we all have. So anyway, we're going on after news and media and advertising. Let me go to the next section. Member and meeting coordination skills is the next section. You know, what we find a lot of places is that there's members in groups on Facebook and other social media platforms, but the hard thing to do here is to keep everybody on task. Okay, so we have meetings, we need to coordinate,
Yeah.
we need to have consistent meeting schedules that everybody is able to be able to work with and participate in this important work. Right now, we're dealing with this culture that's being denied the ability to participate in city council meetings. Zoom is one of the platforms some of the cities are using now, though, in order to change that, but it's still in the beginning stages. The seventh section we have here is investigative skills. For those of you who've done a lot of investigation into a case, for a family court case or for any other situation, whether it be within the court system or in your community or business or other entity. And so, you know, that requires a lot of skill. And I know there are a lot of people out there who have these skills. Let's work together. Let's build that team for investigative skills. And there's missions that can come from anybody. Anybody can bring in a mission. We have a platform for that as well, which I will share a little bit later. At this point, I would like everybody to know that we are on a free Zoom platform at this point in time, which means that we have 45-minute meetings. So this meeting may be cut short. I am happy to open the room again after this meeting to continue discussing our mutual missions and desire to make things work and happen and have our teams build and be able to support each other in all that we're doing. So then the next...
Zoom that we did yesterday, Lyra, was the same. It was a free one, and they must not have been busy because we went over an hour and a half and they never cut us off.
Wow, that would be great if they're starting to do that. If you have only one other person, one or two other people on a meeting, you can extend it longer from what I understand. But it would be great if we have that opportunity today. Continuing forward with this mission, you know, there's a lot of people who are in health and wellness services and have skills in that area. You know, that's a part of the advocacy that a lot of people forget, is that there are parents and families out there who are distressed and do not have anybody that they can talk to and help walk them through and work with them to calm them down and to give them some skills and being able to stay well and healthy. You know, and it's just a very important part of advocacy. So for those of you who have mastery and or are adept in this area, you know, join in. There's teams that would love to have your participation. We'd love to have you.
That's a good one though, because I developed a heart condition behind my case.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope that...
I have super... What?
You have what?
I have supraventricular tachycardia. I was just in the hospital 3 days ago having to have my heart restarted.
Wow. Well, you are lucky.
Yeah.
You're still living. Keep kicking.
Yeah. Yeah, I will, hopefully. But this is all behind my case.
Right.
You know, my case, mine is in the California State Supreme Court right now.
Mm. Yeah.
And they're trying to re-terminate again on the 27th.
And that's what a lot of...
With my case. And
yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of parents are dealing with re-termination or just flat out termination, and some parents have been losing their parental rights for doing their job here with this COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah, I know. I've heard about it.
They've been cited for causing their children to be in danger. What? They're out there trying to save everybody. How's that dangerous?
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole thing is out the chain.
And we're looking for people who want to, help with event coordination and counselor training to guide people to participate in self-care and healthy activities. These are all very important parts of advocacy and working with others and helping. And we're here to help. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, well, I'm here to help in any way I can. So
that's great. So yeah, this is your first mission here, everybody. We have Forrest here. He's the head of tech department, and he's looking for some more people to assist with the software and web design of everything that we're putting together. We have a ticket system through OS Tickets that we offer for people, participants, guests, and even players, which is another part of our formula here with Great Works Alliance, to participate, to create missions and participate in missions and participate with teams. And this is part of how we help to organize those teams and assist everybody in being able to complete those missions. We're looking for people with this Excel and graphics applications knowledge and animation graphics skills and a lot of different web development and tech development skills. And before I go further, Forrest, would you like to add any comments on that section as far as what you're most concerned about at this point?
Right now, I'm kind of concerned about everything because I've been so out of touch because of the coronavirus. So at this point, I take just about any help. Although good news on that front, they've started opening up the retirement home, so that means I'll be working a lot less and actually have time. So thank God it's starting.
Excellent. Yeah,
yes.
We've seen you get a lot of activity over there at the senior center and doing your show there. That was wonderful.
It was nice and fun until they made it mandatory. It was just me goofing off, and then they were like, "Oh, this is enjoyment, so now you have to do it as well as your regular job."
Right?
Bastards. So yeah, anything. At this point, anything, because I've got, what's that now, like 3 months of not being able to really do anything that I've got to get caught up on.
Yes. A lot of us have been experiencing some lags and ability to get things done. And this is hopefully to be able to assist everybody. This will give us all a kickstart to get it going. Like I said, bite-sized little pieces, little projects that we can start working on. And this is your first mission. Another area of development here in teams is the construction and development skills. So there's physical construction we're talking about, and then community development. We have to look at communities differently now that we're in this new era with COVID virus and people wanting to stay clean and safe, and that's important. And so now we need to look at our communities a little bit differently and develop some new ways for everybody to be able to benefit and improve their quality of life. So that's why we have that section. And then we have the section about the miscellaneous or other skills, because I am sure that there are people out there who have skills and talents that we have not even begun to discover and to put into a category. But they're out there, and we're happy to help you in developing your teams and developing your projects. But this is where we start the process, where everybody can just get to know themselves better, and then we get to know each other better. And then we also provide the final section. If you have MAs, BAs, PhDs, doctors, I'm sorry. If you have a certificate for being a crisis counselor, that counts. I have a certificate for organic gardening certificate. You know, I know how to work with gardening and agriculture, and that's why I do Project Wildflowers, to talk about that and how that is important for our community development as well, that we have community gardens that people are able to access and participate in, and that community garden also offers an outdoor safe environment for people to have constructive conversations. And so with that, without further ado, if you go to the page that I have published a link to here in the chat, there's a Zoom chat button that you can click on, and it'll open up the chat group. I have provided the link for this first mission for all of you to review at your leisure. And then we have many different Facebook Messenger groups that are specific focuses, that you will receive a letter from filling out the form on the Google Forms. The letter will give you links to the different messenger groups, which are the beginnings of our teams. This is where you can introduce yourself and talk about some of what you're concerned about, what your interests are in the teams that you choose to be participating in. And then we have lists of assignments, like I was showing earlier, in the team format. And here I'm going to share that again. Because when we work together, what happens? We get the job done. Teamwork is great.
It's true. Now,
So,
can you hear me?
yes.
My name is Mary Matthews. Out of the group, I know Jerry. Jerry knows of me as an investigator working on child custody, abuse cases, all kinds of things. But anyways, I am right now in the process of, I'm paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh,
But
wow.
I'm in the process of, we just finished off, it's 16 by 8 foot porch, and we're enclosing it in to do hydroponics.
Oh,
I'm doing a whole system out there, and I got a heating system going in it and everything. But you know, I just I'm always working, always thinking, always doing projects, you know, like the 5Gs that are coming out. You get the copper, you get the magnets, you put that on your body, and it reflects the microwavable and all the nonsense that will harm you. But I'm into
Where do
things
we
like
find that
that.
information?
Excuse me?
Where do we find that information?
I have it in video. I do a lot of research on everything that's going on in the country, and anything that could harm somebody. I could send it to the group where Jerry, where you guys are.
yeah.
I'll put the video in there.
Okay.
And it's, you know, it's copper and magnets, basically, and electrical tape or duct tape, whatever. Got to tape the magnets because you're putting, the forces are going against each other, so it's kind of hard to hold on to and wrap them in the copper. But what you do is make you like nickel rolls, and you keep them in your body, you know, in your pocket or whatever, And you can even make some to put on your child and clip them on the inside of their clothes, so, or seniors, so they're not they don't lose them, or they can't fall out of their pockets and they're still protected. And two, let me give you a little example of what I'm talking about.
And, I've done some research in this as well, and I suffer from chronic migraines. I'm here in the Silicon Valley where a lot of this technology is already in action. And I use hematite. And
Okay.
it's magnetized hematite, and that keeps me from getting headaches. And
I would really love to find some of those because my migraines are getting more often.
These are the copper sheets that I work with, and you cut them down, like I said, like nickel rolls, and then you take these magnets, and you got to use magnets and copper only. Copper aluminum is good. You can use that. Come on, kidding me?
There are quite a few ways for protecting ourselves. Another way is to, make sure that you're getting enough vitamin D by going outside, getting enough vitamin E. And mushrooms are one of the natural cleansers of our kidneys and liver. So,
There's your answer. There's your answer to coronavirus, kale. And
right,
what I did was,
kale's good.
I'm a canner, so I took every kind of pepper that you can imagine, garlic, ginger, onion, and cooked it all up, and coconut oil, and canned. All my canning is right here, the spices. So if you do spaghetti sauce, if you do kale, if you do meatloaf, anything like that, you grab one of these, you use a little bit of it, and it'll last you forever. Very good shelf. I'm a prepper big time. I go above and beyond to make sure that I'm stockpiled and locked and loaded, and got the metal doors on my house. This is all metal. This is the only window to that door, but I only have 4 windows. I took out all the windows to this place, so I only have 4 windows, and I'm prepared for anything, but and we survive very, very well here. All my things are this is a full freezer, so that's loaded, and then the refrigerator freezer. But generators, you name it, I invested in it, and got myself really, really ready for gas mask and all. I even got in case the atomic bomb goes off, I have the medication to not let that affect my body, and
You're a doomsday slayer.
oh yeah. Big time, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all got to be more prepared than we have been in the past, because this may not be the worst case scenario that we're dealing with right now. Like, there's a lot of evidence coming out showing that it is not as big of an impact as it was previously predicted to be. But what they said from the beginning that people seem to forget is that this is a live test. They're testing us.
Right.
Are we going to panic, freak out, become anarchists? What are we going to do in this scenario? Because it could happen again, and it could
Don't leave your money in the bank. Don't leave your money in the bank. And all liquid vitamins. Don't go on no pill, no pharma, none of that. And you can really make your own vitamins. I do the sovereign silver, the vitamin B, the iron, the turmeric, coumarin. You name it. I do it. So Even though I'm in a wheelchair, I'm healthy as a horse, man. You
Well,
know,
that is wonderful.
Good.
in spirit and body. So, you know, but all my lanterns are up there. You go without light, you got your heat and your light, you know. Yeah, yeah. I
Now
don't think there's one thing. Bug out bags, I've got at least 10 bug out bags for others that aren't prepared. So I could just say, here you go, out the door you go. You got your prep. But I do the 25-gallon or the 5 gallons of spring water that you could get right from the mountainside that's coming out the hose 25-mile down lakes that's never been touched, and fill them up and make sure you put the water purifier in it. And you know, you put 25 gallons of 5 gallons down in your cellar, you're golden, you know, for a little bit, you know.
You
got
got
your,
seeds too?
I got all the seeds, I got all the baby wipes, I got everything that you can imagine. All these boxes and all this stuff that's here, they're loaded with supplies and 72-hour packs, coffee, you name it, you know. Believe me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see some other people here. Christine has her hand raised. Christine, did you have a question? Here, let me unmute you.
Yes.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got it.
No, I have to go right now because I have a bunch of clients that I have to take care of. So, but I wanted to just invite me to the next.
I will. And I'm going to send you a link for
If you
that.
could-
If I can send you a link for that form for you to go through.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because what I do is that from that, it becomes the email list that is sent out every week as a reminder for everybody that this is our meeting day, and you know, we appreciate
That would be great.
participation. We appreciate you coming, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join this meeting. I appreciate that, Christine.
Yeah, I'd like to join them in the future as well.
Awesome.
But send me the link for sure.
Yes. I will.
All right, you guys have a great time. Bye-bye.
Yes. God bless. Take care. Be safe.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
we
So
have-
what is your name?
My name is Lyra. And
Lyra.
yes, and I founded the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families in 2016, and I hosted the Parent Advocate Network for 2 years. And what I discovered through all of that was that there's a lot more factors and issues that are playing into this victimization and victim role that we're all being put into. And in order to deal with that, we have to do more than just talk about the family court corruption, and we have to talk about more than just DHS or CPS or whatever you want to call it, you know. Because
Lyra, I was so involved in it, being a private investigator of 30 years, that it almost took my life.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
I almost committed suicide over the abuse of the children because I had uncovered how their kidneys were being cut out. They were being taken from parents at birth, raised till they were 10, fattened up and raised till they were 10, and killed off for their body parts. And it was just awful, horrific. You know,
And
I
it
developed.
hasn't stopped.
Yeah, no, it hasn't stopped. And, you know, people backed off me and thought I was crazy and, you know, get away from her. She don't know what she's talking about. She's evil, you know. What are you talking about, man? Why am I going to say shit that ain't friggin' real, that ain't happening, you know?
Right.
So that's
And
okay. You don't need them in your life.
this investigation started off in Mississippi and ended up in 7 different states, all the way to Oregon.
Wow.
And they were selling kids to pedophiles out of state, and once they sell them out of state, CPS can wreck the records, zip them up and burn them up, and there's no trace of that child. And it just was on and on and on and on, to the point where I was in a group actually that was investigating, and supposedly took the oath to go up against all foreign and domestic enemies, and we're nothing but a pair of pussies with men with friggin' pussies, not balls. But
You're
I
gonna
got
have a
kicked
lot
out
of
of the
that, but
group.
there's real people doing it too. I follow quite a few people that are doing it. So,
Yeah, but
and the
I got
president
kicked out
is
of the
very
group.
aware.
I got kicked out of the group because all I said was, when we were that it had come, it was like 7 months, 8 months after I was investigating. Now these other people weren't even on board. They didn't even know half of what I was. There were CEOs that did, but that was it. But all I said was that I got to a point where I was going to load my wheelchair. I said, I'm at a point where I'm going to load my wheelchair with black powder. I'm going to call the Clintons, the Bushes, all the Soros, everybody together for a big, huge, multi-billion-dollar friggin' party that ain't going to happen, and blow the friggin' damn place up with me in it. And I got kicked out for that. But I knew I knew way too much, man, because when it starts taking and sucking your life out of you, you're no good to nobody else.
That's
And it really did. My neighbor's the one that talked me off an 11-story ledge that I was sitting on, and I sat on it for so long screaming to God to save me that it put scars across the back of my leg, because the metal window where you close the windows and it's got the storm windows and stuff dug right into my legs because I got no circulation or anything. But I really, the things that I seen was beyond, CPS having 15, 20 kids laying in their office on the floor sleeping because there's no beds or no nothing, but yet they're taking them out of parents' house because they don't have 2 bedrooms for a boy and a girl,
right.
you know?
Yep.
But
That's the state of things now. And this is really important for everybody to take away from this. Mary, you had a lot of stress, and you're very lucky to be alive, that somebody was able to talk you off of that ledge. And I feel for the pain that you went through. There's a lot of parents out there that are feeling similar pains and feeling like it's hopeless
unbelievable.
at this point.
I
We need more support for these parents on an unbiased, non-judgmental form, in a
right.
Right.
format that isn't going to come back and bite them in the ass and make them responsible for somebody else committing suicide. We don't need that.
Well,
Daily in our group, we talk people down
yeah.
every day.
Well, I am the national director to United Bikers, and I was with Take a Pause, working with veterans across the nation. So I did that for 5 years as a volunteer, and with doing the CPS and the Pizzagate and investigating all that. Um, uh, there was no sleep, there was no life, there was no nothing. I became dead inside because of all. How could anybody do this to a family? I even had nurses and doctors. They would take them to a pediatrician, and that nurse would have an eye on that child, call a friend that's from CPS, they'd come in and swoop the child away, and that nurse would end up with somebody else's baby that she had her eye on, with that parent doing nothing. They'd run them through drug courts that was controlled, and every single person came back dirty with methamphetamines and never touched a drink or a joint or methamphetamines, coke, nothing.
No,
So
they do. There's a lot of false positive tests out there.
yeah,
And there are people out there who don't believe that that's possible, but I was a victim of a false positive test myself.
oh yeah,
And it's like, so what we want to make sure everybody does is take time for self-care, because when you take time for self-care, your body isn't emitting those pheromones or hormones that are causing that false positive, because a lot of that has to do with our own production of, like, we naturally produce LSD, we naturally produce THC, we naturally have DMT in our bodies. Okay, And certain things that we do can cause those levels to increase or decrease within our
Well,
body.
tell me what I got to do to increase the THC.
Grow more weed.
Yeah,
Right? But I
I
mean,
do that now.
there's a totally legitimate reason for people like yourself and others who have disabilities like myself to have that medicine available for them to use to manage their symptoms. And it
Yeah,
is truly wrong, in my belief, for us to be prosecuted and persecuted for using our medicine and being able to cope with our health issues and disabilities without relying on the big pharma. We have big
right.
pharma out there that wants to just shove
I
all
don't do any pharmas. I don't do any pharmas. All my medications are all liquid vitamins, professional doctors, you know, that invented them. They're no link to pharmas. Oh no, you know, even you know, the vitamins that they've taken out of our foods and things like that. I'm replacing in liquid form because we really need them. And if you really notice, how we grew up, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. We were playful, we were alive, we were well. We didn't get flus, we didn't pass germs. You know what I'm saying? We had head lice. You know, that's what we dealt with. You know, but all the nonsense that's going on nowadays, it's just government control, power, and money. That's all it is.
well,
You know,
and what we're doing
and we
here
have to
with
stand against that tyranny,
yep,
do or die. You
what we're
know,
doing here is we're offering a place for people to participate. And what I'm sharing now is our OS ticket system that Forrest helped to create. Forrest found this program. People can join in through, creating a, yes, yes it is. It's right there. Yeah. You can see this, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
So we have, you can open a new ticket and you can check a ticket status. When you open a new ticket, you're just putting in a brief information, contact information. And what you can do when you've created that ticket and you want to check in with the ticket is you check the ticket status, and you will just sign in with the email you registered with and the ticket number. That is for our guests to participate in a way of just creating missions. And when you become a player, you get to sign in as a player and see the list of missions available for your teams or you individually, based on what you have filled out in the profile, skills, and merit form. All of this then gives you the ability to track the ticket, to track the mission, so that there's an accountability factor that's built
Right.
in here. We have a lot of people out there who say that they're advocates and will
And they ain't crap.
and they aren't
Hi,
doing.
Brandy.
But the thing is that we always offer, we want to offer them, even those who can't finish the mission, assistance and support by providing them with a place where they can ask for help. And we are still developing this model and would appreciate any and any assistance and advice any of you may have to expand this.
Do you know Phil T. Worland?
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna add him to our group. He would be very interested in this. He runs United Bikers. He's CEO and the founder.
Okay.
So he knows my history, and I've worked with Phil, and for years he's, I'm the real deal. But you
Okay.
got to be very, very careful for people signing up because they're attention seekers. And
why we've done it this way. So what we have put it together as is one of, I mean, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons here is it's not about the person, but about the work, the
Right,
mission.
right,
So the more that you work with others in your team, the sooner the mission gets accomplished and the sooner everybody gets recognized for their participation in that mission. We also offer a space for free agents who do not want to work with others. It's fine. But
right.
the focus is not on the people, because if we focus on one person or another
It's
person,
completing the job.
yeah, the focus should be on completing the job. Otherwise, it's about the person and not the job, and not about doing the work, the great work that we all can do, are capable of doing if we care enough. And
Lyra, in the
people
30
matter. I mean,
years,
people matter, that's for sure. It's not that we're saying people don't matter, it's just that it's not about the person, it's about the
right.
work. So
And the 30 years I've been doing this and volunteering for veterans, for seniors, for kids, for you name it, I've been in it to win it. And I'm exhausted. I grew up in the investigative field. It was my father's office, so I took over after he retired. And I've had people jump on board with me, and this is why I work alone. And I do my reports. I do my factual evidence. I have my files, file cabinets, and boxes of files and files on veterans and you name it, on murders from the nursing homes, murders in the hospitals, murders, murders, murders. You know what I'm saying? So it's been an exhaustive work, but I've got into it so deep that they tried killing me off 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I lost count, you know, because, and I mean serious attempts, where it laid me down. This past attempt laid me down for a whole year and a half, you know, and I'm horrified that a doctor could do what he did to me and leave me for dead. Um, you know, I'll send you what he did. I ended up in a car race, and I took veterans that had amputees and paralyzed from the waist down to get them out of their house and give them opportunity to do something that was free, you know, and that was letting them live. So I took them out to the sports event in New Hampshire, and I got a handicapped accessible van just for them.
right.
And they offered me to drive in the car. So I said, okay. So I had 2 little thumbprints of pressure marks on my ass because I have no circulation.
Oh,
And they opened up, and I went to a doctor. Yeah. And he cut me so bad that he cut me right from the tailbone all the way to my anus, through
oh,
my anus, and gangrene, MRSA, and everything was there. And I came out of his office septic shock and ended up in ICU for 3 weeks.
that's
And
Wow.
it was a horrific. I'm still going through it. I'm still on the wound vac. I had to get a colostomy bag. I got a catheter bag. I feel like I'm, I got all this luggage on me that, but I can handle it, you know. But I'll tell you, I just been blessed, and I'm thankful to God, because without him, I wouldn't be here. You know, they've really, they've known I was out to do them in, you know. I was out to take their job, their whole livelihood, and I was worth the kill, you know.
wow.
But now I've learned to protect myself, and I don't care who I go up against. I've been up against my own mayors, you know, times 3 administrations, you know. Now we got a new one. Hopefully we'll get along, you know, and I won't be underneath his window with my police bullhorn calling him out, you
Right.
know. But yeah, I just don't fear nothing. I don't care about nothing. I care about justice and righteousness, all for the glory of God. You'll never see anything of what I do posted on my Facebook bragging or telling or anything. I'm a very confidential person. I've had people that volunteered and come on my team only to lead veterans to their death and suicide, and just devastated my life, you know. So I trust for nobody, but I know there's good people out there like us, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
I haven't given up hope on good people, and I still have good people in my life, but I'll tell you, the trust level of bringing strangers or meeting strangers for me, um, you know, is very, very, very hard for me to work with anybody because of people saying they would do something and never did, while I was busy doing something else or 10 other things. They were left to do one thing and never did it. That led to a death, a devastation, something that, you know, left the family homeless, left people without food, and on and on and on it went, all the way from, you know, leaving them hungry and homeless to leading to their death. So I've really experienced and seen a whole lot in my lifetime of 30 years of doing this, and that's including VA murders by nurses and doctors. You know, I fought for them that I'd bring the homeless in and they'd kill them. You know, so people don't believe what I say, but I know I'm a witness. I've been there. I know that. You know, not only
Performing
being on.
evaluations of our medical, pharmaceutical, all of the different sectors that are community service oriented. That's another one of the missions that we're working on developing. And, you know, it's from the advocate to the business to the nonprofit to, you know, the social services. How are these people really performing? How are
They're
these?
not. They
Roger.
have to. We have to assign a
Right.
community peoples to oversee the police department, the mayor, the legislators, the senators, the congressmen. Each
Public
and
I don't
every
think it matters what.
each and every office needs a community service overseers
Yes.
to do that. You know.
And that's what we're looking. That's another one of the teams we're building and developing. And as far as trust goes, I understand where you're coming from, Mary. That is a part of what we've been trying to remove as a factor here. Now, it really does depend on all the team members that participate and, you know, that continue to come back for those missions and assignments. There is reward for accomplishing these goals and these missions, and we're developing even more standards of merit to show those rewards. You remember in school when you got a ribbon for doing the best job in your English class, or, you
Yeah.
know, some other science or other studies, or, you know, competing for an art award in school. Well, this is the adult version,
Right.
and it's tangible. What
Yeah.
we're here to work on providing is tangible rewards that people can use in their daily life, that people can actually show to others who ask, okay, what have you done?
Right.
What have you accomplished?
Right.
So when
I
we're
take a screenshot of all my notes and all my evidence, and that's where I answer the question. I don't get into conversation. I show proof.
right,
You know,
and that's where merit really should be rooted, is in the proof of
you have
your
to have evidence. Nobody's word is
progress.
worth shit now.
No,
You know,
I learned a long time ago. Don't believe anything you hear, and not even half of what you see.
if
And
it
then
ain't on paper, it didn't. If it ain't on paper, it didn't exist.
right.
You know.
And my partner here is talking about how important context is also when providing proof, you know, and providing that point of reference for people to understand what you're talking about and what you're showing. Brandy has been here very patiently, silent in the background, and
All right.
I know that she has something she's aching to say. Hello, Brandy, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you
Hi,
doing?
Brandy.
I'm good. I'm good. I come from both in all kinds of different angles here. I've been a victim of CPS for over 15 years. Oh my God, my dog doesn't like me talking over her. And then now my mother's been paralyzed for 20 years, and I've been fighting. Oh my God, get the dog, you guys. Hold on. Go in there. Get in there. Yeah, thank you. My mother is paralyzed. I've been advocating for her in a nursing home, watching her be abused severely. And unfortunately, with all this COVID, I'm going effing crazy. She's locked in a facility, and 3 days before the nursing homes here in Michigan went into lockdown a week before our state. And our state has
Brandy,
yeah.
I got ties to militia all around the country, and I've literally taken patients out of there.
Yeah,
forcefully. Forcefully.
I've been fighting the state for 15 years of guardianship of my mother. And I'm in a really weird situation. I guess I'm a registered child abuser. Yeah, I work for a school. I go through extensive background checks and fingerprints to work where I do. I have helped and advocated for hundreds of families throughout Michigan over the last decade. And now I'm more on the elderly and guardianship.
Oh my God, Michigan is one of the worst states ever. I mean, West Virginia.
On you, and it's hard to watch your own mother be a victim to it. My mother, my grandmother, who is almost 90, has guardianship of my mother, and the state would, and she's been proven abuseful, proven neglectful. It's a whole long list. But 3 days before we went into lockdown, mind you, my mother is paralyzed. She was severely beaten for the second time in a year. So it doesn't matter. I got the whole nursing home from the top down replaced, and that didn't help. Nothing's changed.
No, it doesn't help. They changed the name. They bring the same staff in.
They cover it up. So I've got court records from child custody of my own cases with CPS, and how they work 2 different counties against each other, how the judges are corrupt. My eldest son ended up trafficked. I had to pull him back up that. Like I've gone through every angle of every person's worst nightmare, and I fought it all alone. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. But
I was kidnapped as a young child.
It's a matter of navigating each case particular to what they're dealing with, and then creating a confidence in them and teaching them that they can represent themselves, and you need to speak up, because if you don't, you can't be shut up. You can't be told, oh, do this or else we're gonna do this. No, let's talk about what our options are and what the real problem is here. And we got to define the purpose behind the cause.
Right, and you have to go through a checklist.
And to me, it's different, because there's people in the nursing homes who, like my instance, my mom has visitors all the time, but there's people who don't see anybody, and I've got videos of them. I report for them. I'm in the nursing home all the time. So they've tried to bar me. I've been on the news. I'm actually working with CNN, but just because of their reputation now. But they're working on getting the story out there about guardianship laws, and just to get it out there and hurt, I don't care who portrays it.
Right.
It's just, I don't know how.
Don't let them screw you over. Don't let them screw you over, Brandy.
Oh no, I've been in email talk, because I'm not the kind of person to divulge too much, but I can create a lot of spark, but I got to do it creatively to where they can't coerce it into something else.
Right.
So
I always say,
and because I don't have custody of my mom, like there's a lot of legalities there when it comes to the videos and the audio that I have. So I got to play it careful, and I had to outsmart, outplay for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different angles. And I've saved not only my children, but now I'm working on saving my mother. And it's a crazy world out there, but it's hard to know that all our system is working against us, and we come from the land of the free, but that's because of us brave, the ones that are willing to stand up and say, hey, this isn't right, and we need to sit down and we need to talk about this. But
there is no sit down, there is no talk about this. I always tell people, email is time, date, content. There's no denial of it. So
you want and you want audio, you want to portray.
Well, in New York, it's legal. It's one-party consent. So
Minnesota is too.
And the biggest and most important thing is if you see a public service or senior center or any of those that are for customer service not doing their job, you give them notice that you've seen this, that you are witness to them violating their own objectives, their own directives. And that is the first step to changing it. You send it to upper management so that they can read it. And if they don't do anything about it, then you have record that you warned them, you told them what you saw, and that you were giving them adequate time for remediation of the wrong that they have done. And after that, you can take it to court and say, you know, this is my family, or this is somebody that I'm concerned about, and I brought this up to upper management and they didn't do anything about it, and this person is in danger.
That doesn't always work.
Oh, go ahead, Brandy.
With an affidavit, Lyra?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
and which affidavit is it? Is it one of facts, or is it the affidavit of
affidavit of truth?
Anything that you sign is an affidavit, especially if it's notarized, is a legally binding contract, and it's your truth.
Yes, I know.
So
Yes, I know.
You always put at the top of it, affidavit of truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I went into the mayor and 3 priests talked me into going into this high-rise building that was so corrupt and overrun by drugs, and senior citizens were being abused and stolen from and all that. I ended up staying there for 11 damn years. I just moved into my own house. But I ended up staying there 11 years because it's, you know, when you get it in the blood, there is no stand down. And that in itself was 3 administrations later. And I just moved out of there a year and a half ago. And as soon as I moved out, I was working with detectives, cops, and everything. And as soon as I moved out, it went right back to square one. You know,
is that our adult protective services, if you make a report on an adult, they can go in and investigate it, but they don't remove the adult, even if the complaint is founded, and no matter how many times it's founded.
Yep.
But yet you can have a child and you just have an allegation, and there's no truth, there's no mandated, it's not even a mandated reporter reporting it.
Right.
And the child
you got an ombudsman you're working with?
Before. Huh?
Do you have an ombudsman you're working with?
Oh, I'm way above all them. My mom's nursing home.
They're all together anyway.
Nursing home in Michigan.
Oh, I got some good ones.
Rating. My mom's nursing home had a 1-star rating 2 years ago. There's been multiple founded complaints and fines, and where Social Security, like every department that you don't want in there has been in there. And why isn't it shut down? And yet these things are still happening. So that's where I don't understand. So you can totally say to everybody, well, my friends that have been following my story on Facebook, they can clearly see for years things have gone unanswered. Things have been, like, I have recordings, I have videos. I can share that on my Facebook. I can share anything I want on my Facebook. But as long as I'm not, it's not being used against anybody. It's like my mom, a video of my mom, I'm allowed to show that. So it's just hard for me to understand how we have the same system doing the same thing, same quotas, but yet working against each other and opposite of each other from the adult end to the children's end. And that's what needs to change.
Well, the only way we're going to change that is by going in the House itself and changing the laws. The problem is they got these lobbyists. And I'll tell you something right now. I got as much use for lobbyists as I do that friggin' ant in the friggin' dirt. But anyways, it's to get in and change the laws, because they changed the laws against us. So
And
they're
that's-
immune. They got immunity on this stuff. When they do stuff, there is no accountability because those laws protect them.
And
That's
that's
But
not
there
true.
is if you out
That's
it.
not true. You can't sue them as an entity, but you can sue them as an individual.
Mhm.
and
And
this is
and
just
also-
one area of focus, and we should have a video where we're having a team discussion. I also conduct what are called SCRUM meetings for each team mission. We have, and what I'm showing again here is, and the reason I'm showing the open ticket system is because we have a lot of people who want to change the way things are.
Right.
And they're all over. And
Yeah.
the only way that we're going to actually
Millions.
activate that
Yeah.
is to have our teams and have them structured and strong, and have them then tackle those tickets, those missions, one at a time in a collective group environment. And you know, I know that it's a little difficult for some people online
That's brilliant.
to do these Zoom chats, but this is one of the most effective forms that is being used right now. And for parents and teachers, they're doing a lot of Zoom chats and conferences. In fact, there was one that I shared today, which was from one of the co-founders of Team Red, White, and Blue. He talks with school administrators, teachers, and team leaders in schools across the country. And you know what he's talking about is positive, how we have to also be looking at our children and the children that we're working with and how they're feeling, what they're experiencing, because
Right.
it's going to start with our children. It's going to start with the younger generations. These laws and regulations are so expansive and extensive that it's not
Yeah.
going to be an easy fix. But we as the leaders and elders can help with team leading teams to discover, like, and you know, Mary, I know that you don't like working with teams a lot, but I mean, what if you got an investigative team together that actually did what they were given a mission
Oh,
to?
that'd be great. That would be
You know,
great.
and you could give them assignments and missions that they could go out and come back, and this is what we're inviting people to participate in. This is about personal responsibility and accountability in this situation where we all are affected by everything. So we all should be involved in what is happening and make sure that we're affected positively and not negatively.
Right.
And
I just try
I've
to help navigate and empower.
right.
I don't try, you know, I try to teach them, well, this is what I would do. And then I also always try to include somebody on the opposite point of view of mine, just so that they can make their own informed decision. Like I don't agree with everybody's approach, but it doesn't hurt to try, you know, like but I think instead of having like people directing, I feel like it's more of helping others navigate their own situations. And you can't have people help navigate confidently unless they've gone through it directly, you know, and
Right.
that's another thing that helps,
Out
because
there.
you know, that person isn't going to step aside. That person's also not going to give up on you. They've been there.
Right.
And that's a lot of the only thing a lot of these people need.
Right.
That's right. And that's why we don't have really a team leader type situation in the teams. It's you're in a team where everybody's got a part of a mission. Now, if one person isn't able to complete the mission, another team member can take it from there and run with it. And that is the peer-to-peer support network that we're developing here. And I would love to continue this discussion further. And we do have our meetings every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific time here on Zoom. And I do publish these meetings so that people get insight and get jazzed up and excited, because you know there are people out there that are talking about these big issues and starting to talk about resolving these big issues and creating teams that we can work with and rely on, not see fall apart. And so you know, join us is Great Works Alliance and the Coalition for Protection of Children and Family and several other groups that meet regularly. We don't always meet at the same time here, but this meeting is an open meeting for new members and new players and new guests to participate, to learn more about what we're doing and how we're helping everybody to accomplish those goals that are sometimes feel harder to accomplish than they are really, or
Where are
that
you guys from?
I'm sorry?
Where are you guys all from?
So I'm in California. We had Cindy on
I'm in
earlier. She's in
Minnesota.
California. Becca, you're in
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Mary, where are you at?
I'm in New York.
In New York.
Cool. Well, and that's
You
good
wanna-
to know too. And
You
that
want
way,
to talk about your hands full? Huh?
you're right. And when
Well-
you got people helping on a team like this, it helps because you have people spread out everywhere. So when you've got someone in here, over here, and it's easier to help navigate people that way as well. Say,
That's
hey,
right.
I know this person that lives over there. She's going to be a lot more able to do a lot more for you than what I can, you know?
Well,
Right.
everybody is important. Everybody matters. And so you're all invited to these meetings. You know, we want more and more people to join in and participate in the missions that we're publishing, that you can present your own missions by going to our OS ticket at Coalition for Protection /help desk. You don't have to do the index part at the end. You can also go to our parent site at coalitionforprotection.org. And there's information there. There's a few resources there. Like I say, we're still in redevelopment, and we appreciate all of your advice and input on this site. We also have another site for you to review and be a part of, and that is at Great Works Alliance, my free website. And I'm right now getting the link up. And I will be publishing this information on this video.
In order to be successful in this whole business of investigating and things like that, and I love your concept of this. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You're the first one that I've ever come across that put it all together in this aspect. But I would like to say that,
and it's not just me, there's a few others that work on this, but
yeah.
thank you.
But the key to being successful in any accomplishment of taking victims out of situations is to not become a victim, but victorious. And if you start to become a victim, you got to hand it over to somebody of fresh eyes and fresh ears, you know? and move on to something that you're able to handle.
Yep, that's right.
So
And
that's a
so
lot
this
of the
is
that's a lot of where the failure comes in, and where people drop off is when they become victims of the victims, you know, because they
right,
get emotionally attached to it, like I did.
Or
right.
re-victimize.
So this here is our other site for Great Works Alliance. It's great-works-alliance.my-free.website. And you will see here we have a pretty simple site up right now. We have our PayPal donation button. We are a registered nonprofit. Great Works Alliance is registered in the state of Wyoming, and you can even look up that information here on our location on the site. So, you know, we are real. We are not pretending to be something we're not. We are a real organization doing this,
Now,
providing this service, being an information hub to assist our clients, our players, our guests, our affiliates, all to work together and create a better quality of life for everyone.
are
And
you nonprofit,
yes, we are.
501c3?
Yes, we are. We are
So
registered in the state of Wyoming, like I said, and we have our EIN number.
so don't we.
No. The only thing is, you know, the federal nonprofit status is what we're waiting on, and that takes a while, especially now. So,
We're full blown. We're full blown 501c3.
and what is your organization called?
United Bikers since 2014.
United by Birth?
United Bikers.
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 And is
Okay.
that in just New York?
United Bikers since 2014. You can look us up.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, Mary,
Yes.
is that just in New York?
No, that is national.
Okay.
It's based in Missouri, the 501c3. Hold on. I just lost you. It's based in, darn it. It's based in Missouri. Phil Warland started it. And I am going to eventually get a chapter off him for New York. But I'm skeptical about going under any government, anything, because I don't do government and I don't do state. So I don't accept nothing from them. And you know, I'm anti them controlling anything, because 501c3 is based on whatever you accumulate and put in that 501c3. If something happens to that president, the government comes in and swoops everything that's under that 501c3 and can donate it to wherever they want it, wherever.
Well, that's
You know?
something new I
No,
didn't know
we
about.
can't,
Thank you.
we can't keep letting them stop us by that.
I
Everybody's
know.
got a fear of something. We need
Yep.
to get past the fears and get our butts in gear. This
That's
is the
right.
time to do it, and we're running out of time.
Amen. Thank you, Becca.
Yeah.
I must end this meeting now. Unfortunately, my computer is about to die. It was
Okay.
great to meet all you lovely ladies, and to those who are watching this, I hope you will join us next Sunday. We meet at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Zoom, and we will be publishing more meetings and more missions as we progress. I hope you
Lyra,
all.
I'm going to hit you up in the group that I'm in with you, so you can put the websites that you just mentioned in there.
Okay, so yes, I would love to get your information, Mary, and what I'm going to do is send all of you a packet. It's our introductory packet for Great Works Alliance. This has the link for the skills and merit evaluation, as well as a little bit of an introduction as to what Great Works Alliance is about. And we have privacy policy, contract of services, and other documents for you to review as well.
Lyra, I
Okay.
already have that. I did that right away after I got it. So
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Becca. And I'm glad to see all of you ladies tonight. Thank you.
yes, everybody take care. Be safe.
Yes,
too.
you too.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, yes.
Happy
Happy Mother's Day. Thanks, Brandy. Have a
Yeah.
good evening.
All right.
You
God
too.
bless you all.